Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first Fireside Chat of 2026. Many of you have been with us in our Fireside Chats throughout the last 2 years, and I think the overwhelming feedback that we receive is that, all of these Fireside Chats bring the leader to life. You've seen the leader in action at work. You've seen many of you may know the leader personally or may have interacted informally in conferences, etc. But to really pack a leader's entire professional career and the decisions that went behind at the background that led one to that profession and the life learnings and distilling them in a 1 hour power packed capsule, that's been the intention of Nurse India and Cygnia. And we've got the legend Thankam in discussion with all of these nurse leaders. I will, we planned to have this actually last month, but Madhukari is always on the move and traveling. So, despite recovering from a fairly serious illness, she's been on the trot and I think, jumping from flight to flight. So, we couldn't catch it in January. But here we are before Feb ends, the first fireside chat of 2026 with Madhukari Ray. Madhu, of course, many of you would already know her. She's just recently, she is the group director nursing for Eastern Region for Apollo Hospitals. That's just one of the hats that she wears. She is the Eastern Zone head of ANEI, and she's recently been appointed as the national president of INS India. So I don't know how Madhu does it, but she wears about 3 to 5 hats at any point in time. And Madhu and I, of course, go back a long way. I know her personally for over 10 years, I think now, or close to 10 years, when I joined healthcare for the first time. And, that was my first exposure to healthcare. And, otherwise, I would see these nurses and the clinical teams. I mean, everyone barring a doctor was normally quite docile and very reverent in the hospitals. And then, when I faced Madhukari for the first time, I was in HR, she was in nursing. Here was this power packed woman strutting in her uniform, very smart uniform, marching down the corridors of the hospital, not taking no for an answer, influencing even the CEO or the hospital head on, whatever she needed for nursing. And it was such a pleasure and joy to finally meet someone who was so proud of her team and her profession and was such a shining example for just so many nurses and even other functions. So Madhukari Ray was a handful to deal with from my HR hat, and I have just so enjoyed, interacting with her over the years. I would, jokingly call her during her rounds, etc., that here comes General Madhukari. So amazingly passionate person who just, who stands out. Of course, her personality is fantastic, but I think the one distinguishing factor in her is her clinical knowledge and her knowledge about emerging nursing trends. I think that, that really distinguishes her, and a lot of that she kind of cascades to her teams as well. And the quality of nursing that she came up with in BM Birla Heart, where I had first met her, was at par, I think, with the best in the world. And since then, I know she's been doing a lot of good work in all the other places that she's been to. So, without much ado, let's deep dive into Madhukari's, career, into Madhukari, the persona, and to unpack all of that, the one and only Thankam Gomez. Over to you, Thankam.
Thank you so much, Indrani. I really love the way you introduce our guest and then you introduce me. Yeah, the one and only Tangam, and it's also one and only Madhukari. It is like that, right? Yeah. So Madhukari, I think we were just chatting that we don't know much about the person behind. So today is not about, talking about only your professional thing. We really want to know the Madhu behind the general or the captain or the nursing director. So I will start from the beginning. So my first question will be, what brought you to nursing and how did you end up in military? We would like to know that.
Very thankful, ma'am. Good evening to you, especially because I always have a lot of respect towards you. I look up to you to learn many things, and I have been doing that over many years. You are one of my role models. So there is no doubt in saying that, and even my team members know about it very well. And Indrani, the way she introduced me, when she was talking, I was remembering so many things, so many happenings in BM Birla and CMRI that we have spent together. That was amazing that it was coming in my mind. So starting with the time that how I come to nursing is so I had been always I had a basic instinct of caring from my childhood, and very like whatever I do with passion. I don't do under compulsion. So that was my basic nature. And then when I thought of it, even I never thought that I will come to nursing. I never thought that I'll join army, armed forces. But it came up like that my father met with an accident. It was a massive RTA. And then I found that that evening was a dreadful evening for me because I was very small and I saw that actually that is the first time I am coming across a situation which is very difficult to handle for me. Before that, I have never come across like that situation. So I saw that my home people are struggling to get him admitted in a hospital. And then I finally, with some reference, something, they could get a bed. They were not, I don't know what is the reason that they were not looking for a private hospital and why they took him to a government hospital. And then they got a bed, they got him admitted, everything happened. But I never realized also whether it was a right kind of care that was given to him or treatment was given to him. But only thing, I became traumatized in the process that if this is my father who is suffering like this, my destiny is healthcare.
Okay.
So that's the time that I actually took a challenge that I only come and I come to nursing because I don't want to become a doctor. Because why? Only one thing is that if I want to be close to a patient, that's only nurse. That time I realized it's not a doctor who remains
How
close to
old were
the
you at that time? How old?
17 plus.
17 plus. So then
So
why the army?
then it came that's why I decided that about nursing. And then my would-be brother-in-law, he came with an advertisement saying that you want to go for nursing. There is a advertisement for military nursing, so you want to go for it. I said, okay, give me. And I'm the only one in my family who is going for thinking of, okay, that's a good chance. So I want to take challenges. So let me take one challenge. And that's how I applied. When I applied, it was like 1,200 people applied for it. Then I thought I'm not going to get it. And then it came up only 40 got selected.
Okay.
And then I was called for an interview in Command Hospital, Calcutta. And I was thinking that I'm not ready with my proper requisites. I'm not ready even. I don't know whether physically I'm going to fulfill all the requirements of armed forces for enrollment or recruitment. But the first time that I met with in an environment where the interview is happening with 9 people sitting in the board and taking interview first time. So I don't know. I never realized that. I never had that feeling that whether I have already crossed it. I have already, I could crack it or not. Then I saw that yes, I got this thing that I have to go for medical. Then I realized that yes, I cracked my interview, and then I was taken for um, the medical checkup. Even that was a history when my medical was going on. My second day of medical checkup, my ECG was, they were taking my ECG, and that time I saw that in TV there is a news coming, breaking news that Indira Gandhi shot dead.
Oh.
That was the day. I will never forget that. So in 1986. Um, yeah, 80, 1980, 80, 84,
84,
84,
yes.
84. So then that was a time that, then all the more that gave me a challenge again. I am doing the right thing. I've chosen the right profession and I have chosen the right area of work that I have come in. I am going to getting selected in armed forces and I'm going to come for it. And that's my movement that started.
We are
Probably
we
that
are
has
we are
created
happy.
yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I have got, what I am doing. I have never repented that I have not got anything in my life. I got everything more than what I wanted.
That is really lovely. The attitude of gratitude will take any of us very, very long way, and I'm very sure that with that attitude, only good things can come to you. So coming back to your military days, were you a naughty nursing student, or you are a very quiet nursing student?
Quiet and obedient.
Oh, but from where did you get all this fire then? Why did you become a general?
Fire was always in me, but that was in a way that I had never been very aggressive.
Okay.
I had I had a basic nature of understanding things in a very matured way. I had
Okay.
been more mature than my age, so that is the reason that it made me a little different than others. And I used to realize that why it is happening and why it is coming. Why then if I'm like today, I'm told by somebody that you have to do this and not this, why it is coming. So that analyzing power, it started working from day one. I remember my army days sitting in the dining hall, and I'm a first year student, and sitting in the dining hall, I'm waiting for when that casserole will come to me. It will come to me the last because I'm the junior most in the table.
Okay.
So then I'm thinking that when it comes, can you miss? And then we call in army, we have the habit of calling miss to our
Yeah.
seniors. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm calling, yeah, to our seniors. So I'm asking, Miss, could you please pass it? That also I'm saying as if like she cannot hear me even. So
Mm.
that was the environment. And then I don't know after that how the days changed and how it has become a different personality altogether.
So it's very interesting you're saying that you are very mature and you had this analytical mind. So were you the eldest at home?
Eldest in the family.
Oh, we kind of relate, huh? Because most of the firstborn and the eldest, they tend to be a bit more mature in their approach. I think it's because we start taking responsibility, some form of responsibility at
Yes.
home, and then you happen to see your father, through a very bad phase. So might have made your, resolution to be in healthcare more. Okay. So coming to army, you said you're a very quiet person. And where during the army days did you find your the calling for being a leader? I know all army nurses are somehow trained to take lead, but there is difference in leadership. I have come across lot of ex-army nurse leaders, and I always used to say, army always produces leaders. I think the way the rigor and the grinding that you all go through, it kind of prepares you for the worst. So tell me that when did you realize that you have that in you? First year, second year, third year?
No, that is from first year itself because I always had been having that passion in participating in everything. So I used to be considered as all-rounder in
Oh,
every
okay.
year, first year, second year, third year, not only studies, but in every activities, be it sports, be it poster competition, be it a drawing competition, everywhere I used to participate. So and I used to be having a good outcome of it. Like I used to always get a good this thing, good appreciation from my teachers. I remember in my third year, I when I learned how to do batik in my school, which I applied that time. Because third year that was the final year I was doing actually GNM. So final year, then I actually I felt that I am now next year I'm not going to be here. So I have to give tribute to my tutors. So what I did, I prepared with my own hand batik printed saris for
Oh,
and suit pieces for my tutors and gifted them.
Oh,
And my batik was still there for many years in my mess, even after I left.
okay, fantastic.
So yeah, so that was a thing that always made me out of the box thinking, and out of the way, coming out differently, coming out with the initiatives to do something different, something new, participating in everything. So I was taken in a different way, considered in a different way by my tutors, by my colleagues. So that itself made me, making me a leader, upcoming leader, day by
Okay.
day.
So how many years did you spend in the army?
13 and a half years.
13 and a half years. So you, okay, then you came out as
I
captain.
took voluntary release after
Oh,
I
okay.
became captain, and I was there for 3 years, and then
Okay, then tell us what happened after that.
so I finished my tenure in. I am trained from Navy Hospital Ashwini. That is a Navy hospital,
Mumbai? Mumbai?
Mumbai. Yeah,
Okay.
Mumbai Navy Hospital.
Okay.
So from there, I got my first posting in Jalandhar. So
Okay.
then went to this, but the place never mattered. Whether it is different cities, different places didn't matter because it's the environment. So one thing is there in armed forces is that every 3 years or 4 years, getting posting to a different place where
Mm.
you are coming to know different environment, you are coming to know different people. No, hardly anybody is known to you. You get to know so many new people. You have to adjust yourself. Wherever you go, irrespective of your rank, irrespective of your number of years of experience, you are new. So you still have that you have to get accommodated to the system, to the place,
Yeah.
to the culture of that area. So it is a new place for you. So that also gives lot of essence in the system, that it builds up your system, it builds up your mental ability, it makes you strong, it makes you to adjust to anything that comes in front of you. So that was very effective. So I always today I realize it is very important. Every nurse, in fact, I'm talking about nursing, every nurse should at least spend 5 years in military service and then can change.
I wish. I think there'll be some discipline that comes into you when you are in the army. I think it's which country mandates that everybody should spend time in the army. We don't have that mandate here, but I think if it happens, it will be great. The training that you get in military is very, very uh, different. And today, so you spent 13 and a half years in the military, and then when you came out, so why did you leave army after 13 and a half years?
Somewhere I felt, of course, it was a family need. As I told that I'm the eldest in the family. Also, I felt that after this, my growth is not going to be, it is going to be more or less stagnant in a nature. I'm going to do same kind of job. I'm not going to excel. I want to do something new. That I told you that I that is there in me always. I
Mm.
want to learn a lot. I want to know things more. I want to beyond my boundaries. So that actually I have seen when I came home. I have seen how the in people getting my family members. I have been in different hospitals during my leave, because we get 2 months leave every year in army. So whenever I came home, somebody who is admitted and I've gone to see, I have seen the work pattern in the civil hospitals, that has actually given me a lot of attraction towards that no, there is something beyond this what I do in army that I need to learn. So that was the time that I thought that no, this is now I should go for a change, and that prompted me.
So where did you start your
I started, that is another
many
story.
army people, they'll say, you civilians. I always used to say, please don't say that. We all are same. We all
Same.
are. My father was from the army and he was from the MNS, Army Medical Corps, not
Medical
MNS,
code.
Army Medical Corps. So he had this habit of, telling these civilians. He'll then continue with the rest of the things. Then so I had this passion to become a military nurse, but then unfortunately my mother went on hunger strike and threatened that she will do something drastic if I go. So that I always admired, nurses in uniform, and even today I admire, and I think sometimes, oh, that little bit. So you have the best of both worlds. So you had your art.
That happened even in my family. My family was not very keen in leaving me for army. It was only my father who pushed me for everything that I wanted.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So how did your post-army days start?
It started with, I felt that no, I don't want to start in a bigger hospital. So I started my civil career in a small nursing home just to understand how it works. What is the basic difference between armed forces and the civil? Because here everything is money, money, and there nothing is money. So here
Hmm.
everything is free of cost. So that then I realized I wanted to realize that. So I joined a nursing home of 50, 60 bedded, and my salary was 3,000 rupees. And I was so happy with it. I joined as a matron because
Okay.
my purpose was not earning money. My purpose was just to learn. So,
Okay.
yes. So I was very happy with 3,000 rupees joining. So people were, even my family members, they said, "Are you mad? You are coming from armed forces and you are joining with 3,000 salary." I said, "I'm
Oh,
happy with it. I don't mind."
okay.
So that's how I started. But then next, it was just very short stint. It was just 1.5 year, after which I started moving to a bigger hospitals. So I joined Suraksha, I joined different bigger hospitals. I joined Apollo. I was here for 4 years, went to Gurgaon, went and joined Artemis. So that was a commissioning
I think
experience.
that is where we met, right?
Yes,
In Artemis,
in
right? Now that you're
Artemis.
mentioning,
Yeah,
I was trying to think, where did we meet first?
yes.
Which year was that?
That was 2007.
Yeah, I was in Fortis at that time.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
in
I had just
Fortis.
moved to Delhi in 2005 from Mohali. And that's the time I think
Yeah.
I came there, and probably the hospital was just commissioned or to be
Commissioning,
commissioned.
yeah.
Yeah.
2007 it got commissioned, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So you have been in different cities, right?
Yeah.
So
Because
then,
that time I was in Apollo, they didn't want to leave me. So I said, no, I want to have a commissioning experience. Again, different, like that was my always passion. So I said, no, I want to have commissioning experience of a hospital, which is a bigger in size. From day one, it is going to be, digitalized, is going to be paperless. I want to have a feeling of that. I want to learn that. So just I moved. I moved to Atomis, yeah.
okay, and how long were you there?
I was there for 2 years. It was a great experience. I know, that's what I tell everybody. Artemis will always remain close to my heart as a baby because I have given birth to it. And I knew each switchboard of each room, every room. That was the passion, and that was the, closeness and the commitment that I had towards bringing that hospital to commission. So I
I
can
can
never forget.
imagine your feeling because I am very emotional when it comes to Fortis Mohali, but I had spent much longer time in one organization, and Mohali I had spent 5 years. So when you say I know every switchboard, every corner, everything, so it takes me back to those days. Commissioning a hospital from the scratch is a different experience altogether. I think that's something any nurse leader should be able to face, and it gives you a lot of learning,
Lot of learning.
lot of learning. So in 2009, you moved back to Kolkata?
Kolkata again. And then I joined BM Birla.
Okay. So you had worked with Madam Abanti Gopal?
No, I couldn't get the chance to work with her because by then she left. Just one
Okay.
year back only. I joined 2008 end of the year. I joined BM Birla, and one year back she left, and then Ashima took over from her.
Oh, okay,
Ashima
okay.
Bhattacharya took over from her, and then Ashima also had to leave because she had a precious baby, so she had to leave. So then they were looking for getting a nursing head, and then that's how I was brought.
Okay. Interesting, interesting, when you actually look at the timelines that you have spent. And since you came to Kolkata, you always had been there, correct?
Yeah, since then I had been here, but in
Yeah.
between for 6 months I had been in Bangladesh.
Yeah, that also I kind of remember. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what, what the experience in military? So, what is that helped you to build your personality in the corporate sector?
Mm, that has helped me to line up things in a structured way because I like to work in a structured way. I like to do things with proper planning, which actually I have learned from armed forces.
Okay.
And without a planning, if something comes to me, I always try to see that what, how, and I always do an R&D with my own team. I don't do myself. I always do it with my team because I believe in the team. When it goes as a teamwork, it gives a better outcome. You not only get a better planning, you also get people to be, getting involved in the process. And nothing in a and healthcare is not a small industry, it's a big industry. And nursing itself is so much to do. We have to
Yeah.
be everywhere, we have to be omnipresent everywhere. So if a team is not involved, you actually don't get anything. So that was the thing that has given me a learning from armed forces only, that if I have to do something, I need to do a proper planning, and that planning comes only with your a close team that you make and take everybody's viewpoint. And I learned to be a good listener.
Very good. Yeah.
I learned to be a good listener. So that I listen to everything and then I decide what I want to take, what I don't want to take. I want to foresee things that or where it can lead to in next 6 months, in next 1 year. Little bit, my sixth sense is very little bit stronger. So I try to look out at the risk, that what I do a risk stratification also, and try to see that what all possibilities are there to fail in that plan, so that it doesn't actually come up to me as a wonder or something like that. I'll be surprised, my team will be surprised, they will get demotivated that it's a failure. I don't want to do that. So that itself, like doing a planning with risk stratification, thinking of things, doing that in a such a way that it becomes very accommodative for all of us, not only for me, and then executing it in the process and then following it up is my this one. If I do something, I want to follow it up till the last bit. I don't want to leave it in between.
Fantastic. I think there's a whole lot of leadership lesson hidden in what you just explained, is that plan, involve your team. And then I really like it when you say you look at the outcome, but yet you also think about the risk involved. What can go wrong? That's a very leadership way of thinking, that when you want to do something, it's a good thing to ask what can go wrong. What's the worst that can happen? If that is something you can mitigate or live with, outcome is going to be better. That's a risk you take anyway, right? So even without having any paper in front of you, this thought process is running in our head all the time, right? And the other very important thing that I heard from you is that taking the team along with you. I just want to repeat the thing, because there are a lot of leaders sitting here, and there are going to be a lot of leaders going to listen to this, webinar later. Is to say that, if you are a leader and if you believe that I can do wonders, then you are sadly mistaken. We are as
Thank
good
you.
as the team that we have developed. Or smart leaders should always have smart people around, right? So, my brother is a businessman. We were talking about leadership the other day. That he was telling the same thing. He said, "Why should someone be insecure about having smarter people around you? Because the smarter people will make you shine better."
Exactly.
So, we should not get intimidated. A leader needs to be secure in their position.
Their
So,
positions.
the other way it happens because you are not secure. So I have seen in my personal experience, I have seen leaders who prefer not to have too smart people around them at many level, not only nurse leader, even at ward in charge level. They get very disturbed when they find a very smart youngster in their team. So that brings me to the next question, to say that all this experience, that your principles that you have carried on, how did that affect your, if you don't mind me asking, how did it affect your personal life? Were you able to give time to your family? How did you manage that? you know you are very dedicated, disciplined, outcome oriented, so I can imagine how many hours you would be spending in the hospital. So how did you spend balance your, family and your professional life?
One difficult question I had been facing in my life, for which I could not give a proper answer ever, is that why you didn't get married. So I don't know. I always felt that whenever I wanted to ask within myself this question, I always realized that I never felt that I never got married. Why? I don't know. Because that may not be a need that I never felt.
Totally,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So actually, so my family, my mummy, my mom, my father, my brothers, sisters, they always encouraged me to be the best. And I always got support, extreme support from each one of them. And I'm really thankful to get a family like this who have always been very supportive in all the way, whether I am coming late home, whether I'm not there, I'm traveling too much, I'm not able to give time to the family, I'm giving more time in my job. They have been always been supporting with selflessly. So yeah, so that really helped me a lot. Otherwise, I would have been always, in tug of war that whether I give time to my family or I give time to my job.
That's one secret. Okay, but I know that you have more beyond this family members, papa, mom, brother, sister. You have some more people in your family who are very much in love with you. Can you talk about them?
Yeah, my family, my extended family members also, yeah, they look up. They always,
No, I'm not talking about them.
I
The,
think Thankam's referring to your four-legged family.
the people who
four-legged
love you
family.
without asking anything.
Very
Because
true,
I know
very
it's
true.
not one, you
They
have
are,
many. So
I
please
have
talk about that.
hundreds, hundreds. I am very passionate. That's my another life story is that my not only time, my everything, my mind, my time, my say my health, even my like every if I think something to do good, I only do for them. I am very passionate for the dogs and cats. Of course, cats are less in numbers, but the dogs, I cannot just resist myself when I see a dog in front of me, whether it is a street dog, whether it is I'm more fond of street dog because that's the reason I always thought of giving a shelter to a fostering house, giving to this one who needs shelter, who doesn't have anyone to look after. And yes, I started, and now my sisters are also carrying it. I'm not able to give that much time. We feed every day 80 to 100 dogs every evening.
Oh my God, that's a
And the
huge
cooking is
number.
done in the family, and feeding also is done. And of course, it is not an NGO, it is all our salary.
I can
Feeding, also taking them to the hospital, vet,
Hospital.
vaccines. I think a
Vaccines I do
significant,
myself.
wow.
Treatment I do myself, giving them saline means drip or anything I do. I
Oh
do
my
with the
God,
help
you
of
have become a
Parabet also.
veterinarian, huh?
Yes, yes, I can give. I
My
can start
God.
saline for them. I can do all this. Yes, for castration, I have done almost now. I finished almost 90 dogs castration also, so that they remain safe, healthy. I don't want to see them suffering. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I do that.
God bless you, Madhu, because this
Thank
is
you.
really something. I don't think it's a cup of tea for anyone. I'm sure that I can't think about it. I only know how loving they are. They don't ask anything, they
Don't
only
ask
ask for
anything.
love and they give you love. That's what it
Yes.
is. And looking after 80, 90. So don't you have problem with the community who's around you? Do they
Yes,
complain?
I have been taken to police station also.
Oh, wow. Oh, how did you manage that?
We have fought. We have always been supported by OCs and everybody. Till now, I never had any problem. I had been getting support. If I had 10 families to be against me, I had 20 families to be with me.
Fantastic. Yes.
So,
I think it goes without saying that anyone who is kind to animals, who cannot speak for themselves, they somehow tend to be very kind. Otherwise, this is
yes,
something that, I have experienced because you give to them so selflessly and they also give it to you selflessly.
exactly.
So,
Such a blessing with which you live. I can feel it. I can feel it. I live with their blessings. Indrani was telling that I had a very tough surgery last year.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I never realized today that I am having it. I'm totally fine. I'm absolutely like there is no problem. I'm fit and fine because of their blessings. I
I think
survived because of them.
I hats off to you, Madhu. I think you are so right that if you are able to invest. Okay, let's come back to your current role again as the nurse leader. So tell me about the people that you have groomed. There are a lot of people sitting here who say that, I worked with Madhukari ma'am and now they are independent leaders. So what, tell us little about, nurturing others and, how do you feel when you nurture others? Because it's also important that they should do the same. Because when someone tells me that I am a role model, I did something, I usually tell only one sentence, pass it on. So I would like you to, reflect a little bit on that.
It is that I truly believe in that. See, I have studied in Bengali medium. Of course, it's a good school. I have
Mm.
studied in Bengali medium, but when I went in armed forces, I realized that if I don't know how to speak English, I cannot have full stomach food. And one of my internal medicine one brigadier, he was Bengali, and he always used to tell me, Madhu, you should know how to open your mouth. Otherwise, you will not survive in army. But he would have been very happy if you today he would have seen me that I opened bigger mouth than he expected. So, so that is one thing. So that is one thing when I realize when I see somebody is become trying to become an upcoming leader and not good in communication, because communication is the key in leadership. And
Totally agree.
you know what happens? Communication is not that speaking in English. Communication is a language, is a subject in itself, which speaks about how much you should speak, where you should speak, to whom you are speaking. So exactly this I explain to my people around me. I know many of them are sitting who will agree to it. That I do that lot many times. I whatever I do, I tell, come, I prepared a PPT. Just see and tell me, no, if anything to be corrected. That means indirectly I'm preparing, I'm explaining. Actually, this is the way. I tell them even like many a times I share with them that I prepared one PPT. It is the same PPT. If I'm taking it for my leaders, for my seniors, my top management, my way of presentation and that PPT look feel will be different. The moment I that same subject I explain to my leaders, team leaders, the mid-level managers,
Will be different.
it will be different. And the same PPT will be different for my staff, bedside level nurses. So there is that art all of us have to attain. It's very important.
So I
That's the
think that's
language to
what,
be.
yeah, that's what I would call it as an authentic communication. Because you know what to tell in which manner. Because it's not about talking a lot of English, big words that makes you a bigger communicator. When we are communicating, if the person who is listening, if they cannot relate to you,
Exactly.
then there is a failure in communication, right? So I think perfectly stated.
I also
Uh,
do one more thing is that I tell like I do keep doing that I tell you write one English something and then send it to me. I'll see where what like I'm very particular about uh, grammar,
yeah.
English grammar. It's because I learned it from my mother. My mother used to be teaching me Renan Martin like anything, and
Oh,
she used to make me sleep with Renan Martin, and
okay.
get up with Renan Martin like that. She used to push me
Okay.
so hard,
Was
and
she a
that is the
teacher?
reason.
Was
No,
she a
no,
teacher? Okay.
no. But she used to be like this with me for Renan Martin. When if you speak English, you should speak it with complete correct grammar, so that is there in my ears. So that is the reason all the time that when I see that if I so I do this grammatical mistakes, I'm very fond of correcting it, very fond of looking into it. These are the things which I inculcate. I always I to one of my successor, my next level. I told her that do one thing. You know, when you read lot of English and when you read, keep mirror in front, and when you read, you see how you are reading it, where you are getting stuck, why that fluency is not there, why the flow is not coming, where you are getting stuck. So you keep reading 10 times, 20 times, you do that, you will find that after certain time, after 3 months, after 6 months, you are just talking it flawless. So these type of tips I keep on giving because I learned myself like that. I still work on my weaknesses. My weakness is my time management, which I cannot do. I'm still working on it.
I know we all are struggling with time management, but I think uh, slowly, in my experience, I had to literally tell myself that, and kind of find time for the people that we want to spend time with. That was one motivator, to find. And then I started writing this to-do list. Okay, when I came to Fortis, I had come from abroad, and there it was a different life altogether. Then I realized India healthcare is a very different cup of tea. It is as confusing as it can get. So I used to write this to-do list in my diary. Then in the evening, I'll have to cross off, no? Then I used to find sometimes I'm crossing only one item.
One item.
I mean, rest all are standing there. I will transfer it to the next day. The next day again, maybe I'm crossing one or nothing. So slowly I realized maybe I am writing things that it's not urgent and important. So I slowly started learning what is urgent. So my plans, I used to draw one line in the diary. I will write the most important one on top. Today I have to do this. The others I'll keep writing down, right? And then so that I don't forget, because I'm a person who gets ideas, and if I don't write the idea, then idea is gone. Next day it is some other idea that comes. So we all find our own way of, I'm sure that you will also find now that you have too many hats on your head. So there is, so I think it's more about planning your time to say, okay, in hospital I'm going to spend this, but every Friday I'm going to do this, and every Saturday maybe I'll do this. Some discipline, half an hour I'm going to spend on INS, or half an hour I'll spend on any, as many hats that you wear. So now you are running a hospital, you are leading the eastern region, so it is not going to be that easy, right? And it is not also possible for you to be thinking about other activities while you are working. It's not possible. So I would always tell, sham hai na, tab sochenge. Abhi nahi. Abhi during the
Exactly.
working hours, it's only hospital, only
Only
patient.
hospital, yeah.
उसके बाद सोचते हैं, but I have to put it down.
Yes.
So one of the things that I find as a gap, even in today's leaders, because everybody is sitting here, so I'm sharing, is that inability to manage calendar, not the diary one, because now everybody is on MS Office and Google and
Yeah.
everything, not in the calendar. Even if I send invite, half the people will not even accept it. And then at the last minute, somebody will be asking कि आपने बोला था ये कुछ होना है. I said, I sent you invite. Now I realized there's no point in sending those invitations. Better talk in WhatsApp. That happens even better. And now
Actually,
WhatsApp also is become so busy. So, like the other day, somebody was telling me, ki, ma'am, the WhatsApp, so many groups are there, so many things are there, I miss. I saw your message, then I forgot to answer. So, I'm just saying what
yeah,
I
yeah,
try.
this happens. This
So,
quite
in
often happens.
WhatsApp, now there is a facility to read something and make it unread. So, what I do now, so that I don't forget that somebody has asked me for something, and once you open, the tick goes away, right? So, I come back, click, and I say mark unread. So, I know that I have to address this when I have time. I cannot do it now, but I can do that. So, if I am the current CNO, probably I will pin some groups which are very important so that I don't miss. And I mark all those messages which are important as unread, so that at the end of the day, I am able to attend to this. Maybe I am able to reply. So many a times I feel, I wish all this technology I should have been in hospital once more, whether I'll be very productive. So I keep wondering about that. So tell
That's
me,
true.
how tech savvy are you?
Uh, as long as work goes on, I don't find it difficult. I'm able
Okay.
to manage it well. Yes, I may not be knowing too much of Excel and too much of this thing, but as for my work, I know most of the things.
So Excel is also important for a leader to know, right?
See what Tinku is giving not only the grammar but also the line gaps and columns. You can
Commas and the
see
dots and the
dots.
columns. Okay. So that means you can be a good editor. That's something I am learning. So maybe I will tap on that talent sometime. I'm going to do that for sure. So tell me, apart from the passion of looking after our four-legged friends, what other things do you do?
I like to do cooking because that gives me, a lot of. I feel that I'm at rest when I do cooking. So
Not my
that
cup
gives me
of
a
tea.
fresh energy. No,
No.
I do. I do. Sunday, I remain busy only in cooking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. From
Okay.
morning, I want my family to have a bit good breakfast from my hand.
Okay.
I want to do something different which others cannot cook. So I can cook in the lunch.
Okay.
So I do that. And I feel I
Fantastic.
really enjoy that
So everybody tells you are a great cook.
so far. Yes.
Great, great, great. So
And we do
coming.
lot of potluck in the office also. So I bring that
Ah,
also. So we do that.
fantastic.
I think that some of them will vouch for it. You
I'm
know
sure.
me, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So just before I hand over to Indrani, I want you to go back to your very scary time when you had the health scare. So share with us something that you learned during that time that we all can, you know, learn from you. That what was that period? What did you realize about healthcare? What did you realize about relationships? What did you realize about friends and families? Just it's like a little philosophical question, but I think when we have such tough times, we reflect a lot and we learn a lot, right? So I would like you to share that with our audience and the to be
Yes.
audience also.
I feel that each one of them are very important. They differently play roles in our lives. Um, Friends are also important, without whom you cannot survive. Family members are equally important, without whom you cannot sleep every night.
Okay.
So it's that important. But yet, your professional life is very, very important, without which you cannot survive. I cannot survive. Because if I don't work, I'm like a labor. If I don't work, I cannot eat. So my guts are also like that. So like if I don't feel hungry. So that's why, so it is very, very important. So that comes that professional life is also very important. And I really feel fresh despite whatever has happened in the past, or I may be very upset with something. But when I come to work, I again meet my people, I become fresh. Again, I go back with a heavy heart in the evening for something, some days. When I see my four-legged friends, I'm again a different person. I feel very happy. They are also so important in my life. So everybody, that's what I'm saying, that they have but yes, there are relations where I don't want them to be in my life. I avoid. That I have learned now with the time. I haven't done it before. I used to go extra miles to do things and to do things. But now with the time I have learned that yes, there are some unwanted people might come in the life. Better to avoid them so that you can spend a good time. Your time you can spend in a better way. So that's the message I want to give. I also want to tell everybody, those who are present here, that leadership is not a title. It's not about just getting a designation. Leadership is all about taking responsibility and bearing with it and meaning it in the sense that you create a difference and you make a value in the atmosphere, in the organization, or wherever you are. You make that so valuable that people should be wanting your presence in a way that they want. Like they should first remember you that, okay, why can't I call Madhukari to do this? So that should be the way. Till then, we should be putting our efforts. So if I'm putting my efforts 200% in my professional life, I should make efforts to put 200% for my family also when they need. That's very important.
Great. So tell us when you are faced with obstacles, because we all face barriers, obstacles, in our professional, personal life. What is that you bank upon your strength, that how do you overcome those times?
I become quiet, yes, for the time being, but I try to feel why it has come to me, why it is like this. I try to, again, I'm an analyzer, so I try to analyze within myself uh, uh, why like this, maybe some certain good points that I try to think. And I am a self motivator also, so I try to motivate myself saying that, okay, fine, probably this was my problem, but other side is okay. I take the positive part of it and progress myself towards that, excel myself. Let me think differently and then go ahead with that instead of remaining back and sitting with it and thinking that, oh, my life is ended here. No, nothing of that sort.
So one
Good.
one advice to all the leaders sitting here: how do you manage a tough boss? I mean, I'm not talking about your direct report. I'm not at all thinking about Dr. Usha Banerjee or anyone. I'm actually talking about you had different roles in small hospital, larger hospital, CMRI. You always were reporting to people, someone above you, right? It could be facility director, medical director, whoever it is. It is like a feedback to all the young nurses. So when you have a tough personality in front of you, what is that you practice to overcome? Because anyway you have to work with them, get them
Yeah.
to say yes to some of your, because you are not the ultimate decision maker, so you want them to say yes. So what is that mantra that you use? It'll be nice to
I
share.
remember when you're asking me this, I remember in one of my organizations where I spent 13 years, I had 19 bosses. I calculated once. So
Okay.
it is not that easy because every time a new boss you get, you have to prove yourself. And but it is important that you be patient, be a good listener, give time, see what is happening around you, and then proceed. Don't jump. Be
Hmm.
resilient. It's very important because ultimately, if we jump, we may be taking a wrong step. We
True,
think
true.
and jump, we may win or may fall at times, but we can come back.
Yeah, so I think thinking through the entire thing of, speaking up to a boss is important. And so there's a saying, no, one cannot choose your parents and your boss.
Yeah,
They
true.
are given to you because nobody comes and asks you, should I hire so and so as your boss? It doesn't come.
Nobody.
It happened with me in Fortis also. I had many bosses. I mean, Mohali, I spent 5 years, and not too many, but I would say I had as many CEOs that I was reporting to. Same thing when I came out also. So that keeps changing. So that's a challenge. I think that resilience one should have. And what you learn from one boss, keep it as a learning. So that may come handy in the next boss. The
Yeah.
next boss teaches you something else. The more bosses you turn, I
No,
think
many
you
a times I
actually learn.
realized, yeah, the new boss will say that whatever you have done previous, it has got no meaning. It doesn't actually give any value. So now you have to do like this. Okay, so be it no problem, but then you have to, wherever I have to put my finger and say, no, this is not this way, this is this way, I will say. I
Exactly.
may, I,
On a
yeah.
funny note, Thankam, I mean, you asked her, how do you manage tough bosses? I was actually silently laughing to myself and saying, I think all her bosses would be thinking, oh my God, Madhukar is my reportee. How do I manage her?
Not at all.
Okay, this is just a joke, but I have seen her in action, so I'm sure some of her, out of those 19 bosses, some of them would definitely have felt this.
They would have been calling, she's not just captain, she's a general.
General Madhukari. How do I handle General Madhukari?
Oh,
No.
I can imagine that. So, Madhukari, I think today we have learned a lot about you, me especially. A lot of things that I have not, been aware. I'm so happy that you have come to this platform and we have recorded this, and all that little bits of every single leader that we are recording. I hope that some young nurses will go there and listen and say, okay, what can I learn from these leaders who have been there, suffered it, learned it, and they have come out, successful. So that's the only thing we can give back to the younger generation. Otherwise, Gyan is available everywhere.
Exactly.
It's on your fingertip. You just type one question, you will get everything. But what you don't get is the experience.
Yes.
And that experience is what we are trying to record and keep for good. As long as the YouTube is there, everything is available to everyone. And I really hope all the younger leaders, sometimes will play these kind of recordings to their nurses, and it supports you because you can't be always, giving lectures and motivating yourself. But it is sometimes nice to put on somebody else and say,
Right.
listen to this
Exactly.
leader, they have been there. So, what do you learn from them? Do you have any questions about them?
Yes, there are lots to learn from them. I when I see the young generation, now they are so tech savvy, they are so progressive, their thought process is so different. They know whatever they think so straight. They know very well what they want. We didn't know that. We were not that mature. I'm telling you. But they are so
Exactly.
straightforward. They literally dictate the parents. I want this and I want that, which we did not have. We used to obey our parents. The generation has changed. And it isn't good. It is this progress is good. It was required. They are
I
fast
think
learners.
that's a very important lesson you are giving to all the people sitting here. What I experience when I go around meeting people, meeting youngsters and leaders, one thing I see the gap is that probably we are failing to understand
Failing
the
to
current
understand.
generation that,
Exactly.
this is how they are. And we tend to treat them like the way our
We
seniors were treated.
underestimate.
We tend to behave the way our leaders treated us. We were
Exactly.
obedient, so we listened. Probably we kept quiet because they are our seniors, so we did not say anything back. But then the current generation is very different. So
Very different.
I only carry one word, that is respect, because they usually don't care whether you have a designation or not.
Exactly.
But they want to be respected. They should not be written off. They should not be shouted at. They do react if you do that, right?
I remember in BM Birla, I asked one nurse when she was leaving, I said, why are you leaving? She said, I'm not happy to work here. I said, why? What made you unhappy? Then she says that, Madam, when I take over as a shift in charge from my main in charge. Then I get to know, oh, these things are there, this many patients are there, this is the six main things. And then handover is finished. But when next day morning after my night, I have to give same handover to my in charge. She will take over each bit of it. And it
I have
becomes
heard
so
this story
tough.
many times. Yeah. So I think we don't. It's like we forget that saying, no. Treat others the way that you like to be treated. You
Yes.
know, that's a very old saying, and I think that's something we are forgetting many a times. So Indrani is looking at me from the side and saying, Tankam, you are stepping.
One more thing also, madam, before we close this, I want to
No, no,
say.
Indrani has got something to ask. I am not the
Okay,
one who closes.
okay,
She's
okay.
looking at me to say, give me some time to ask some questions to my friend Madhukari.
Okay. I just want to say one. This is the same nurse who told me, my in charge taught me this once, and she expected I should give 100%. My outcome should be 100%, my output. Whereas then if I'm asking this question again, then she's saying, why I told you, na, you forgot about it. She's so teaching me once and expecting 100% output. Is this correct, madam?
Yeah.
And they taught me actually that was a lesson for me. Even I was thinking, oh, I never thought that way, really. It's a good way of thinking, looking at it. How many times on the same topic we are talking to the staff?
True, true, true.
It's very important.
Asking them, do you have any clarification? Is there something that is doubtful? We learn all this teach back theory and everything, but we seldom practice because we are always in a hurry, to say
Exactly.
our part and move on. And I feel like sometimes even I am at fault that you say some things and you go, and later it comes back to you and say, oh my God, they didn't understand completely. So it's also important for us to learn that we should also be assertive enough to ask questions when someone is telling us something. If there are doubts, you're not sure what this person told, you should be able to ask, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't understand. Did you mean that? So all this in theory we talk about paraphrasing, rephrasing, all this, English words are there, but we don't practice.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Madhukari. I mean, that was really lovely speaking to you. And now I'm going to hand over the mic to Madam Indrani because she has her last bit. She starts and
Thank you,
she's the
madam.
one who is going to close the session also.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for, being with me and asking me so good questions and reflecting my back again. So I really enjoyed the session so
Oh,
much.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was lovely speaking to you. And you're one of those whom I have not known, that much. We usually interact just very
Yes.
professionally. We don't come to know. I know a little bit about your four-legged friends because we happen to talk about that and your health issue little bit, So glad to know you, the total Madhukari, and stay in good health and God bless you.
Thank
Enjoy
you so
being
much. Thank you.
whoever you are and continue to give away more leaders for nursing profession. Thank you for being
Thank you.
whatever
Thank you
you
so
are.
much.
Thank you very much. Yes, Indrani, all yours.
Thank you,
Madhukari.
Thankam. Thank you for really unpacking Madhu's career and life lessons so beautifully as only you can. So hats off to that. So Madhu, I have as we close the session, and thank you to the audience also. With the permission of the audience, we'll just take 5 more minutes. I know we are past time, but we'll just take 5 more minutes. I have a set of some fun questions, but before that, I cannot let you go, Madhu, without asking you one serious question. For all of the time that I've seen you at work across BM Birla, CMRI, I think the one thing that that's always stood out for you, and like I mentioned in the introduction as well, has been your clinical knowledge. I mean, you could just see a patient almost and kind of almost prophesy, who would make it and who would not. And then I've also seen you use that that the confidence that comes with the clinical knowledge that you have as you spoke to the doctors. And this nurse doctor relationship and engagement is something that is that's always so contentious in Indian hospitals, right? Either nurses are completely pandering, or they pick up fights. There's never that balance. I've always seen you, I mean, I've always seen you having these excellent equations with the doctors, yet putting your foot down where, if they have been wrong. I mean, are there like two or three tips that you can maybe share with some of our younger folks can just pick up? How do you do that so effortlessly?
Very good aspect that you have brought in, Indrani. That's very, very important for young nurses and the nurses, those who are present here. Because what I have realized in the system is that if you don't have knowledge, you are not being accepted. So, a doctor, why should the doctor speak to you if you don't understand what they want? So, and what they're looking at, they want a smart nurse to understand the patient very well, the way they are looking at it. So, if I don't understand my patient, and for that, I need to acquire that knowledge. So it's important, and that's how you get respect. Otherwise, you don't. I have always been seeing that doctors have been respecting me and taking me as a part of their decision process in terms of for the treatment of the patient, because of that. Of course, one thing is that I could do that because I have always tried to you make use of my time for learning things. Like today, if I have come to know one disease, I have to learn. I have to keep on reading. I have to not only read in the Google but also read in the book what is there. So till today I could not leave the books. I go back and I go to the, if I something that something different, something new I hear, I always go back to the book and see what is there, what is it about, why I didn't know about it, what it can bring changes. I discuss also with the doctors then why it is like this, because see what is written in the book and what is the clinical scenario, many a times it might change case to case basis. So there are different cases that when you discuss with the doctors, then only you realize that what other aspect of diagnosis and understanding the disease. So you have to spend time with them. You have to know, not with your knowledge, you have to spend time. You have to, I have seen nurses getting afraid of talking to the doctors or shying away from the doctors, not discussing about the case, not going forward and asking that their doubts. But that is not the way you can progress in life. If you want to really build in your knowledge, then you have to do that every time. You have to study yourself. At the same time, you have to discuss, you have to bring your knowledge to the plate to understand that whether you are right or not. Your understanding is right or not. So that discussion is really helpful, which I have been always doing until today. I do that.
Wonderful. And I've been witness to, how the doctors respect you for that as well. Fantastic. Okay, so now we move to the final part of this lovely session. So I'm going to ask you, rapid fire questions. You just, one word answers. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night out.
I know, I'm not surprised at that. Have you ever, I mean, the next question says, are you a beach vacation or mountain getaway? But my allied question to that is, have you taken a vacation in the last 1 year?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so are you a beach person or a mountain person?
Each person.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite movie or the last movie that you watched?
I like to watch romantic movies.
Ooh, this is General Madhukari's romantic side. Okay,
Yes.
what was the last movie you saw in the theater, maybe?
In theater, no, no. I think long back I have been
Okay.
seeing series in the mobile.
Ah, okay, okay. And my final question, for the audience, those who don't know for many talents, I know she's a brilliant artist. She's a brilliant singer. She mentioned she's done batik, etc. uh she reads, she cooks, so in a sense you're like really multi hyphenated person. Now I can't ask you to really draw online, though I would have loved to, but can we request you for either a song or a poem to end this session with? Just a few
Song,
lines.
song, 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 song. I did not know that you can sing.
No, no, I could sing. Now I not because I don't practice.
So song, poem, I leave that to you, but something to end this session with.
You don't need to practice a lot. No, we all are
अभी
We'll
ना
hum
familiar.
along. If it's a popular
You
song, we'll hum
started
along.
I
You
will
singing.
sing a
start.
song. अभी न जाओ छोड़ कर के दिल अभी भरा नहीं, ये अभी न भी न भी नहीं, कभी नहीं कभी नहीं, अभी न जाओ छोड़ कर के दिल, ये इंटरव्यू से भरा नहीं.
So I will tell the same thing. अभी ना जाओ छोड़कर के दिल अभी भरा नहीं, नहीं 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 नहीं, के दिल अभी भरा
भरा नहीं.
ये तो brilliant जुगलबंदी हो गया. I mean, in case anybody else from the audience wants to join, but brilliant, brilliant. Huh? Thank you very much for
Thank you.
that, Madhu and Thankam. It's been such a lovely conversation. At a point I thought, we might need to have a part two to this conversation because it was just going forward in such a brilliant flow. Thank you very much. Madhukari, all the very best for your new role in INS, your enlarged role in INS.
Thank you.
All the best for your continued success in ANEI, and of course, our wishes for your continued professional success in your current workplace. It's
Thank you,
been,
Indrani. Thank you for thinking of me and putting me in the show because I also enjoyed it to a great
oh, I
extent.
think this is one
You.
of our most popular ones. I'm kind of thinking because of the audience that has joined. And thank you very much to the audience. Thank you for bearing with us. We've overshot by 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes maybe, but I think it's been worth it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you,
Bye,
Madhukari. God
ma'am.
bless you
Bye.
and
Bye.
take care.
Thank
We'll
you.
be in
Bye.
touch.
Good
Bye.
evening, ma'am.
Bye.